Hello, sports fans. It is Tuesday, May the 3rd, the year 2016. And as always, a lot to get to in the sports world, so let's get it going right now. Great to be back with you guys. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're doing better than I am. I am under the weather. I've been sick for the last couple of weeks. I'll tell you, before my sister had kids, I never got sick. Now that my sister has 3 kids and they're in school, I get sick all the time. They pick up germs from school and they just pass it around. I must have been sick 10 times in the last couple of years. I feel like I'm sick more than I'm healthy lately. I get every single germ in the world from my nephews, but I've been struggling lately. I'll try and get through here today, but I hope you guys are doing well. Let's start in baseball. Let's start in the American League East. Let's go through the standings real quick. Boston Red Sox 15-10 in first place, doing a nice job. Swept away the Yankees at Fenway over the weekend. Baltimore 14-10. They've dipped a little bit, but still doing a nice job. Toronto very disappointing, 12-15. They should be better than that. Tampa Bay 11-13, kind of right where we thought they'd be. And how about the Yankees? 8-15. The Yankees look dreadful. They got bombed by Boston. The Yankees look like a bunch of old elephants. Teixeira, A-Rod, Beltran, Ellsbury's not the same player. Their pitches all have some sort of injury from the past. The Yankees got all sorts of problems. Their relief is good. It's going to get even better when Chapman gets back. But the Yankees look like a bunch of old elephants. 8-15. Terrible. The Central Division, how about the White Sox? 18-8. I never saw this coming. The White Sox look like a very good team. Detroit 14-10, Kansas City 13-12. They started off very hot. They've dipped a lot. They look like they could have a World Series hangover, but they have a lot of talent. I expect them to be there in the end. Cleveland 10-12 and Minnesota 8-18. Minnesota got off to that rough start and they've been treading water ever since. As far as the West, Texas 15-11. I do like Texas's team. Seattle doing a nice job at 14-11. Oakland 13-14, Angels 12-14, not that great. Houston 8-18. Houston has to be the disappointment of the year so far. I know it's only 26 games. Houston's 8-18 with all that young talent. That's a terrible record. Bad job by the Astros. As far as the National League East, Washington 18-7. I do like Dusty Baker as the manager. How about the Mets, 16-8? They've been cruising lately. What are they, 9-1 their last 10 games? Listen, with that pitching staff, you know the Mets are going to be there. The Mets are going to have a big season this year. Phillies doing a really nice job. Very pesky, 15-11. I thought they'd be dreadful. They have some good young players. Miami up to 12-12. They had a decent week last week. Braves, 6-19. I never thought I'd see the day the Braves were this bad. They could be the worst team in baseball. As far as the Central, Cubs 18-6. I love the Cub team. I love the manager. Cubs are a definite threat to get to the World Series. Pirates doing a nice job, 15-11. How about McCutchen? What a tremendous player he is. St. Louis 13-13. Not all that great, but you can never count them out. Cincinnati and Milwaukee look like 2 dreadful teams. As far as the West, a lot of mediocrity so far. Giants are 14-13. They've been up and down. Dodgers 13-13. The Dodgers had a miserable week last week. The Dodgers last week got swept at home 4 games by Miami, and then they lost 2 out of 3 at home to San Diego. Dodgers lose 6 out of 7 to Miami and San Diego. Terrible job by the Dodgers. Colorado 12-13. They've been kind of up and down. How about Arenado? He looks like an awesome player. Great defensive player at third base also. Arenado, great player. Arizona disappointing, 12-15, 5-12 at home. Arizona's got to be better than that. San Diego 10-16. We knew they weren't going to be all that good, so that's where we are very early in the baseball season. As far as the NBA playoffs, we're in the semifinals. As far as the Western Conference, Golden State leads Portland 1-0. They play Game 2 tonight. We'll see when Curry gets back. Golden State will beat Portland with or without Curry. But Golden State's going to need Curry, in the Western Conference Finals and in the championship. Looks like Curry will be back sooner rather than later. San Antonio 1-1 with Oklahoma City. Great win by Oklahoma City last night to even that series. They take home court. Remember, San Antonio blasted Oklahoma City in Game 1, so very gutty performance by OKC last night. did get a couple of breaks at the end of that game. They got away with an offensive foul, but Oklahoma City did show some resolve last night. They do win. They do take home court. That should be a good long series. As far as the Eastern Conference, Cleveland 1-0 over Atlanta. Atlanta's a good team, but Cleveland should get through here. And Toronto and Miami tip off tonight. Listen, when all's said and done, I still think it's going to be Golden State and Cleveland. And if Curry's healthy, I still think it's going to be Golden State. The best teams in the NBA usually get there. You're not going to get too many dramatic upsets, so that's where you are in the NBA right now. Let's go over to the NHL playoffs as we are in the conference semifinals as well. Pittsburgh up 2-1 against Washington. They hang on and win 3-2 last night. They were up 3-0. They hang on to win 3-2. Here we go again with Washington. Washington better win tomorrow night. They cannot afford to go down 3-1. Washington, year after year after year, has a big-time team and falls short in the playoffs. Listen, I think this Washington team is really good. I think they will respond. I think they will win tomorrow. They better win tomorrow. The pressure is mounting on the Capitals. I can hear people talking already. Same old Capitals. They're falling into that pattern again. They're doing a lot of complaining about the refs. They're saying, this guy should be suspended. This guy shouldn't be suspended. How about Washington goes out there and wins the game? And all I heard last night after the game was how great Washington played. They lost the game. Washington has a history of outshooting teams 50-20 and losing. They lost the game last night. I don't care how many shots they had on goal. They were down 3-0 in the third period in this game. Put up or shut up time for Washington. I do think this Washington team will respond, but they better do it tomorrow night. That series is becoming very intriguing. Islanders and Tampa Bay 1-1. Back to Brooklyn we go tonight. That should be a good long series. As far as the Western Conference, San Jose leads Nashville 2-0. We go back to Nashville. San Jose, who has had a bad playoff run each and every time in their history. San Jose has had nothing but bad luck. Maybe this is the year they finally put it together. They look really good. They're up 2-0 against Nashville right now. Look good, San Jose, but they're another one, just like Washington. They always find a way to muck it up. Dallas, St. Louis, 1-1. Back to St. Louis we go. This should be a good long series. This is a different type of St. Louis team. They're another team that always has problems in the playoffs, but I like this St. Louis team. That should be a very good series. I really like the series in the NHL. You're going to have some good long series. So please, I know some of you guys don't like hockey, but please check it out. NHL playoff hockey is very, very good. The NFL draft was last week. I am so happy the NFL draft is over. I mean, they do 2 months of mock drafts and I can't take it anymore. I mean, they did about 500 mock drafts and they all get everything wrong. No one had Cincinnati taking a defensive back in their mock draft. I mean, I must have watched 500 mock drafts and no one had Cincinnati taking a defensive back. Then every quarterback taken, John Gruden thinks is the best quarterback since Johnny Unitas. Every player taken, Mel Kiper thinks is a great fit for this team. Great fit here. Good value pick. Fits in well with this team. This guy's good here. Great pick in the 7th round. I mean, I didn't watch much of this, but every time I flipped on it, whatever round they were in, they were saying it was a great pick. 5th round pick out of Middle Tennessee. Fits in right here with this team. Good value pick here. Great pick here. This guy's going to have a big season with this team. On and on and on. Enough with the NFL draft. I can't take it already. And enough with the combines and all that stuff. How well did Tom Brady do at the combine? Did Tom Brady bench press 1,000 pounds? Did he run some great time in the 40-yard dash? I mean, Tom Brady can't bench press at all. He can't run from here to there, but he can play quarterback. A lot of this stuff and this overanalyzation at the combine is pure nonsense. None of it has to do with football and all these mock drafts and the whole NFL draft. Just nonsense. I mean, they must have said every quarterback taken was the next Johnny Unitas. I can't take any more of it. Happy the NFL draft is over, and I love football. As far as some boxing, I heard Floyd Mayweather might return. Listen, would it be any shock if Floyd Mayweather unretired? Do we really think Floyd Mayweather is retired? I wish he'd stay retired. I don't need to see Floyd Mayweather a year from now fight Garcia, in some boring fight for $90 on pay-per-view. It does nothing for me. Anyone I want to see Mayweather fight, he's not going to fight. I don't need to see Mayweather-Pacquiao again. That was a snooze fest. Don't need to see Mayweather-Garcia. Anyone else I want him to fight, he's not going to fight them. Mayweather could stay retired for me. I'm not plucking down my $90 next May to watch Mayweather come out of retirement. I mean, not me. The two fights I want to see Alvarez against Golovkin, and I want to see Ward against Kovalev. Those are the two fights I want to see. As far as the UFC, what in the world is Conor McGregor doing? Has Conor McGregor lost his mind? Conor McGregor had an aura of invincibility at 145 pounds. Then he ran up to 175 pounds. He loses to Diaz. Now he wanted a rematch with Diaz back up at 170, which is not his weight class. Then he was supposed to be on UFC 200. He didn't want to do, any of the promotions, which is strange because McGregor loves all that stuff. He loves to talk. Didn't want anything to do with that, so Dana White takes him off UFC 200. Jones and Cormier will be the headliner there. McGregor still wants to fight Diaz, still wants to fight him at 170. I mean, what a complete mess. Conor McGregor, please. You should have stayed at 145. I mean, if you wanted to fight Diaz that much, then go on this little promotion tour. You love talking anyway. I mean, it makes no sense. I mean, what is Conor McGregor doing the last couple of months? And I like him. I think he's exciting. I think he's good for the sport. The Irish fans are tremendous. But Conor McGregor, get it together already. Then he tweets out he's retiring. The next day he said he's not. Just a mess. Conor McGregor, come on, get it together. And if you want to fight Diaz so badly, you're going to have to give up your 145-pound belt, and you're going to have to do the promotional tour. It's just that simple. I mean, my goodness, come on, McGregor, get it together already. I want to cover some soccer. How about Leicester City of the Premier League? I don't know if you guys, I know a lot of you guys don't watch soccer. I love soccer. I played soccer. Leicester City in the Premier League was a 5,000 to 1 choice to win the Premier League at the beginning of the year. Just think of that. 5,000 to 1, and they win the Premier League, and that is not easy to do. Usually Manchester United, Chelsea, Manchester City, Arsenal, those type of teams, those big teams with the big payrolls dominate the Premier League. Leicester City, at this time last year, was dead last in the Premier League. They win the Premier League. That is one of the greatest underdog stories in the history of sports. Leicester City, congratulations to you and your fans. Tremendous job. Tottenham finishes second. They blow a 2-goal lead at Chelsea yesterday. They finish second. That gave Leicester City the win. What an improbable run by Leicester City. The Leicester City Foxes, I love that name. And how about Vardy, Player of the Year? He came out of nowhere. Leicester City, unbelievable job. One of the greatest stories in the history of sports. As far as the Champions League, you do have Atletico and Bayern Munich today from Bayern Munich. Remember, Atletico won the first leg 1-0, and tomorrow you have Madrid and Manchester City from Madrid. That first leg was 0-0, so you got a lot of interesting soccer coming up, and of course the Spanish League's coming right down to the wire as well. Barcelona hanging on against Atletico and Madrid, so a lot of good soccer for you soccer fans out there. And the Kentucky Derby is this week. Do you believe it's already Kentucky Derby time? I haven't got into it as much as last year. It's going to be hard to top what happened last year. American Pharoah, I mean, what a great story. Wins the Triple Crown, wins the Breeders' Cup. You're not going to get that again this year. So I haven't been into it as much. Listen, I love horse racing. I love the Triple Crown races. I love the Breeders' Cup. I'll get into the Derby. Haven't got into it as much this year. Haven't picked my horses yet. So what I'm going to do for you guys on Friday, underneath this video, I'm going to make my picks for you. So if you're looking to bet the Derby, check out underneath my video on Friday. I'll pick them for you because I haven't got the odds yet and the posts and all that kind of stuff. But I will pick those for you on Friday. Kentucky Derby on Saturday. Kentucky Oaks on Friday. Always a great event. That's another one. Put on your bucket list. If you guys haven't been to the Kentucky Derby, get down there. And now if you sit in the infield, they have a big screen you can watch it on so you won't miss any of the action. Definitely get down to the Kentucky Derby. Put that on your bucket list. It's a must-see if you're a sports fan. Okay, there you go. You guys are all caught up. You guys are all set as my voice is slowly going. You guys, thanks as always for the support. Pick a lot of winners. Make a lot of money. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers on Sunday. You guys, all the best. Pick a lot of winners. Take care.